So what happens when a world in desperate need of a hero picks the wrong one? When the person who's supposed to be the savior is actually the one tearing everything apart? Well, this is the story of a boy who just wanted to be left alone, but got caught right in the middle of a divine, world-ending mistake. I mean, really think about that for a second. A world is crying out for help, and the person who answers the call is the very thing that's going to destroy it. It's a terrifying thought, right? Just keep that question in your head, because it is the absolute heart of this whole story. Okay, I know, it's a heavy question. And before we dive into how this all goes so wrong, if you're into stories that completely flip your expectations, please think about following the channel and sharing this. It honestly helps us grow and lets me make more explainers just like this one for you. Now, let's meet our accidental hero. Our story kicks off with a boy named Jin, and on the day his entire world changed, he wasn't thinking about saving anyone. Nope, he was thinking about one thing and one thing only: freedom. Freedom from his older sister, Haruka. You gotta understand, Haruka wasn't your typical annoying older sister. She had this twisted sense of justice that she used like a weapon, constantly guilt-tripping Jin and manipulating pretty much everyone to get exactly what she wanted. For Jin, his life was a cage. He was just desperately holding on to this one idea: a university far, far away, his only shot at finally escaping her. And that's literally the thought running through his head as he's hauling luggage for her, just putting up with one last command. He wasn't after some big adventure or bunch of glory. He just wanted a quiet life that was finally his. He had absolutely no idea he was about to get his wish, just in the most terrifying way you could possibly imagine. So while Jin is lost in these daydreams of escape, this massive explosion just erupts out of nowhere. And in a blink, the world he knew was just gone. He doesn't wake up in a hospital. He doesn't wake up at home. He wakes up completely alone in the middle of a thick alien forest. And what happens next is just brutal. He wakes up, the car's gone, the parking lot's gone. He just starts walking, and after what feels like forever, he hits a coastline and realizes the horrible truth. He's on an island, totally cut off. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months. He barely survives, learning to fish, building a pathetic little shelter, but then winter hits. And alone, freezing, and with no hope left, he just collapses, sure that this is the end. But right as his life is about to fade out, this spinning ball of light just appears, and it's apologizing? It tells him that this world was in big trouble, facing something called extreme spiritualization. Basically, its life force was just fizzling out into nothing. To save it, they performed a ritual to pull beings from Jin's world because their physical presence would literally anchor reality and bring things back into balance. But here's the huge, catastrophic mistake. The ritual wasn't meant for him. It was meant for 3 people. 3 people who were about to die in Jin's world. And you're not going to believe who they were. His sister, Haruka, and her 2 friends. Jin wasn't supposed to be here at all. He was just collateral damage, an accident who got scooped up in the blast. So Jin gets brought before this council of 7 gods, and since they can't send him back, they offer to set him up with a new life here, complete with some divine gifts and skills to help him out. So what does the boy who wanted nothing more than to just escape ask for? He asks for exactly what you think. He doesn't want power, he doesn't want fame, he definitely doesn't want to be a hero. All he wants is a peaceful, comfortable life, and a guarantee from the gods that he will never, ever have to see his sister again. His wish is a direct slap in the face to the life he was forced to live before. And this is where the story takes a really dark turn. The divine being reveals the powers that the chosen hero, Haruka, was given, and they are absolutely terrifying. Domination and all magic. Basically, total control and limitless power, handed to a person who already uses justice as an excuse to control everyone. You see the problem here? While Haruka gets the power to rule, Jin only asks for the power to live. So the gods, respecting his wish, give him a whole bunch of skills perfect for a quiet, DIY kind of life. Magical ability, production, healing, cooking, exploration, all good stuff to help him build a nice, peaceful home for himself. But then, they give him one last skill, a really weird one. It's called hero killing, and he has no idea what to make of it. Jin is then dropped into this beautiful, custom-built home in a secluded forest. And, for the first time in his life, he's actually happy. He's free, he's learning to cook, he's exploring the town, he's just enjoying being alone. But just because Jin found his peace, it doesn't mean the rest of the world did. Because while Jin was busy building his new home, a very dark shadow was starting to stretch across the world, a shadow cast by its so-called savior. All these strange things start happening. Weird black spirits start showing up out of nowhere. The demon forest, which was already dangerous, gets even more chaotic. And worst of all, the world's natural spirits, the tiny elemental beings that are like the planet's lifeblood, they're just disappearing, being consumed by something. And finally, the goddess Mashito appears to Jin and just drops the bombshell. It's Haruka. Of course it's Haruka. Her obsessive, controlling nature, now combined with infinite magic, is the problem. She's using her power so recklessly with zero understanding of the consequences that she is literally draining the world of its life. She is causing the very disaster she was brought here to prevent. And just like that, Jin's quiet life is over. The gods tell him that the spirits, terrified and fleeing from Haruka's power of domination, are all flocking to him because he's the only person in the world who has the opposite power, liberation. I mean, just think about the sheer irony here. The official hero, armed with domination and all magic, is basically turning into a demon lord, eating the world she was supposed to save. And Jin, the accident, with his simple skills of liberation and separation, has become its last and only hope. And there it is, the ultimate twist of the knife. The one person who wanted nothing more in the entire universe than to get away from his sister is now the only one who can possibly stop her. His whole journey was about running away, but now he might have no choice but to turn around and face the one person he never wanted to see again. Which leaves us all with one final, terrifying question. The gods gave him that one ominous skill for a reason, didn't they? Hero killing. But to save a world he never even asked for, is Jin gonna have to do the unthinkable? If this story moved you or made you think differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And follow the channel for more stories like this.